So over the weekend, I was thinking about a couple of entrepreneurs in which I've just finished reading their biographies. One was that of Fred Rogers, also known as Mr. Rogers, and then Elon Musk. And I got to kind of thinking about how are these two individuals that seem quite dramatically different, what ties them together? What common themes do they have? They're both extremely deeply driven, and there's something in there that ties them together. I've just pulled out a couple of different items where they are very similar, and these gave them the energy to be deeply driven and to build their passions and build their purposes that fueled them in life. And I just wanted to go through these. I'm taking these concepts from the book Liftoff by Eric Berger, and then also the book Kindness and Wonder by Gavin Edwards. And I'll leave links here if you'd like to check out either one of those books. But I just wanted to walk through these top 5 ways in which I see these individuals as very much alike. So the first is overcoming childhood adversity and bullying to build resistance. Both of them endured significant bullying and social isolation as children, and this really shaped their empathy and their drive and their ability to persevere through challenges. Rogers was teased for being chubby, pale, shy, and wealthy, with incidents of being chased home and bullies calling him Fat Freddy. Musk, on the other hand, he faced severe physical and emotional bullying in South Africa, including one brutal beating that landed him in the hospital that required surgery. And then after he arrived home, he was met with loads of verbal abuse from his father. And that wasn't just one time, that was over a series of many years. Now, in business, leaders can channel this personal adversity into motivation for long term success, fostering a culture where failure is seen as a learning opportunity rather than that of a defeat. So, for example, Musk in the early days of SpaceX, there were many failures, and this really mirrored his childhood struggles, but it fueled this iterative innovation that he always went back to, always trying again. He was really focused on this. Now, for Rogers, he turned his pain into a lifelong mission to help children feel accepted, creating a sustainable media empire around that of emotional support. Now, the second way here is what I say is a mission driven vision with a higher purpose that is beyond profit. So, both of these gentlemen pursued audacious, society improving goals that were rooted in a deep sense of purpose. Rogers dedicated his life to children's emotional development, and he used TV to promote kindness and wonder and self acceptance, believing that it could change the world for generations to come. Now, Musk, on the other hand, he founded SpaceX to make humanity multiplanetary, think settling on Mars. This is driven by the need to ensure species survival, as seen in his relentless push for that of reusable rocket technology that almost bankrupted him. When you have these really grand missions and visions, this really helps to inspire your team, and it gives them a clear path in what they need to focus on to help you accomplish what it is you're seeking to do in your business. Now, the third item here, this is quite interesting. They're both polymaths in that they wore many hats, allowing them to maximize efficiencies to achieve outstanding results. Rogers, for example, he was a composer, a writer, a puppeteer, a producer, a performer, a minister. He wrote all of his scripts longhand and he edited his episodes while maintaining a deliberate, waste free pace. Musk, well, he acts as the chief engineer, the CEO, and the lead innovator across many of his companies. In addition, he personally interviewed and hired more than 3,000 people. He designed hardware and he pushed for rapid innovation. This versatility in business allows leaders to bootstrap operations, and it reduces dependencies and accelerates progress in a resource constrained environment. Musk's hands-on approach at SpaceX echoed that of Mr. Rogers, his self-reliant production style, and this enabled both of them to scale from a modest beginnings into influential enterprises without a lot of external bloat. That just goes into the fact of know your business from A to Z. When you know your business A to Z, you can jump in anywhere and figure anything out. Now, the fourth thing that I wanted to talk about was that of innovation by challenging industry norms and embracing risk. Both disrupted stagnant fields by questioning conventions and taking bold risk. Fred Rogers, he innovated children's programming with a slow, thoughtful content focused on emotions and silence, counteracting a fast-paced commercial television norm. Musk, on the other hand, he challenged the high-cost aerospace industry that was dominated by Boeing and Lockheed by building low-cost, reusable rockets privately and learning from his failures like those of the early Falcon 1 tests. So for us in business, this comes down to identifying inefficiencies and then iterating through them with experimentation. Keep your mind open to the things that you can iterate and design very, very well for your business and your customers. Then the last similarity here is that of childlike wonder and optimism as a driver of creativity. So despite their serious pursuits, both retained a sense of wonder that fueled creativity. Rogers, he celebrated everyday miracles such as rainbows or simple recipes, and he used that to spark children's imaginations as he drew from his own isolated childhood playing with puppets. And then Musk, he displays a childlike excitement about space almost all the time, smiling at the Starship prototype and marveling about its potential to reach other planets, viewing a Mars settlement as really a grand adventure along the way. For you and I in business, it's about cultivating a sense of wonder and encouraging outside of the box thinking for our employees, engaging them at a deeper level. This could lead to creative environments that reward curiosity, potentially through like an innovation lab or a moonshot project. And when we do this, it's going to help inspire breakthroughs, and it's going to be those breakthroughs that put us out in front of the pack in our businesses. All right, my friend, those were the top 5 similarities between Fred Rogers and Elon Musk. I hope you found that insightful, and hopefully there's a few things in there that you could potentially use in your business as well. If you'd like to check out either one of those books, I'll leave links for you. If you like this little mini episode, possibly you would consider subscribing to me here on Substack, and or maybe just sharing this with a friend or a family member. I thank you very much for taking the time to listen. Until next time, make it a beautiful day in the neighborhood, my friend.